I'm your host, Jake.
And I'm your host, Dom.
Now, this episode, Dom had no idea what was going on beforehand because I wanted to kind of keep it a surprise.
Surprises are cool.
And surprise, I must have done. Now, this episode, we're going to be diving into the magical world of poetry writing.
Oh boy. Remember we had to do that a long time ago?
I mean, both you and I definitely did do our fair share and maybe some class assignments here and there, or maybe some free time if we just felt like doing something, or I don't know, maybe even freestyle rapping or whatever in like a study hall session where we did poetry. But that's neither here nor there. That is still poetry. And, well, we're going to take you on our journey today to poetry. Woo! Let's do it. Now, poetry is a timeless art form that has been going on since, well, at least since I can remember, right? From poetic prose of a nice modern elegy to a nice, maybe pantoum of Eastern Asian descent. From haikus to epigrams to acrostics and so on and so forth. Poetry has definitely been around.
Probably before we were even existing.
Probably even since the Edo period of Japanese history. I mean, it's definitely a thing now, and it's definitely been a thing for a while, so I couldn't take you into a little bit of what that is. Now, poetry, according to Lori Lopez over on Goodreads.com, is the language of the soul, poetic prose, the language of my heart. Each line must flow as in a song, and strike a chord that rings forever. To me, words are music. Now, what makes poetry so special, Tom?
Maybe it's the way that poets write their lines. There's got to be a factor that sets apart the poets, like the serious ones, to the hobbyists.
I mean, the hobbyists even use different literary tools and such as like metaphors and similes and stuff like that. But I mean, definitely the professionals know what they're doing. They might have double meanings here. They might have sort of a pun here. It's just kind of up to the reader to be able to pick up on such things. But you're definitely spot on with that. A lot of people use literary devices like that to their advantage.
Oh yeah. And there's endless possibilities with poems. Like we said, like people do it as an occupation, or people just do it as a hobby.
Some people can do one a day, and some people can do one a decade. Well, they do once a life.
Or once per hour.
That can definitely happen. Which you might be able to see later on. I don't know. But totally, there's definitely a lot of literary devices. And we're going to be diving into it, at least a little bit, whenever we're writing something, at least in the future.
Well, that is some interesting information we got here. But some viewers might be wondering, what does it take to get into poetry?
Well, honestly, with equipment, it doesn't really take much at all. You can do it in your mind. You can do it with technological advancements such as your phone, tablet, or really anything else. You can do it with a pencil, a notepad, do it with pen, do it with spray paint on a wall. You could even do it with, I don't know, maybe the blood of a newborn, right?
I'm going to say the last two parts really confuse me. Spray paint and blood.
Yeah, well, spray paint has been used for a long time. I mean, you might see it under like a bridge, or maybe on like a side of a wall, maybe like a brick wall or something, as long as you have direct permission from the building owner. Wink, wink. But yeah, I hope that answers your question there.
Okay, but one thing you left out was, what about the blood part?
Anyway, let's move on to actually uncovering what some of the historical poets of past times.
Alright, this might be a bit of a refresher because I only know a few of them.
A few of them, name one that you might be thinking of right now.
Alright, William Shakespeare.
Ah, yes, yeah. William Shakespeare is definitely popular and in some literary circles, notorious writer who has definitely done a few plays, and in those plays a few sonnets every now and then. Probably other type of poetry in there too, but he's definitely known for his 14-lined sonnet.
It's pretty cool.
Now, some of the plays that he's written that I believe sonnets are in be Romeo and Juliet. Probably has some nice little lovely sonnets in there, declaring love for the Montagues and the Capulets. Which side was which?
Which side was which?
Romeo was and Juliet was
I thought it
of the Montague family or the Capulet family.
Yep.
Which one? The
Cap-
Capicola?
Yep, Capicola, right. That's, you got it. No.
The Capicolas and the Mohegan Suns.
Yeah.
But yeah, Romeo and Juliet is definitely one that he has written some sonnets in. I would assume that maybe, what's another thing that he wrote?
Probably like height. Oh.
Good example, Hamlet probably has some sonnets in there too.
Yeah.
And other forms of poetry that we'll be getting into, but he's definitely up there.
Definitely more like common with like people who aren't necessarily like enthusiasts of poems, but he's definitely, I guess, up there.
And part of the reason why I would believe that a lot of people would be more so familiar with his work than some of the other people that we'll be talking about is definitely because he's in the public domain too, right? Everybody can make a Romeo and Juliet, everybody can make a Hamlet, everybody can make this and that, this and that. He's written a lot of things, we don't need to get into every single thing. But
that's pretty cool. Are there any other poets out there that are famous?
Definitely, I mean, there are tons of them. The next one that I will be going over is Emily Dickinson. She was a prolific writer back in her time, but she wasn't really discovered until she passed away, unfortunately. She wrote on things like the back of receipts and envelopes and probably maybe a little bit on some stationery here and there, but she wasn't really discovered until after. That's the kind of the case with a lot of art too. Like, I mean, a lot of the artists didn't really get studied and like, all that critical acclaim until their passing. Right? It's a little glimpse into the historical mindset rather than the modern day person. A lot of people from modern day aren't really popular in that sense. It usually takes their passing for something like that to happen.
Or at least, not until a very long time then they become famous.
Usually whenever they die is when they become most famous, because then you also get the morbid curiosity of, what did this dead person do? Let's read up everything that they've ever done, instead of, what does this person who's alive right now do? It doesn't matter, they're not dead yet.
Yeah, some people are like that.
Definitely a master in their craft. It's just she kind of did it as a hobby and wasn't really focused on that. She did it as like a time passer, if anything. But when the time passed, people discovered her work, and it was amazing.
Interesting how it goes.
Now, Langston Hughes was definitely a prolific writer during the Harlem Renaissance. Now, he was an African-American person who existed in, well, I would say the early 1900s. From his writing, you can definitely tell there were some hardships there that we definitely would not feel back at that time.
That is some powerful stuff.
Definitely. Now, of course, those are masters of the craft in the past generations, but there obviously exists a different universe of poetry in the modern day. Of course, like the contemporary types of artists, but I'm even talking about different types of poetry existing today. One of which is, in the musical world, it is rap. Modern day hip hop.
Yeah, there are definitely poets without us even realizing they're poets.
It's that quote that everybody likes to say, oh, a poet, I didn't even know. But they probably are actually writing these different things, whether in their head or on paper, for them to masterfully create the bars, right? We are not the two people to be going over hip hop, but let's go.
Yep, here we go.
Now stay tuned, because next up we will explore the flow of prose and prose. The more you know about blows, blasted bows, breaking beats down, bro.
Oh no.
It's time to venture into the modern world of poetry, specifically the hip-hop universe, like I specifically rapped about before.
Well, I mean, I don't particularly listen to a lot of rap, but I've heard enough to know a bit about it.
Now, who are some of the modern legends that you could possibly think of, just off the top of your head?
I mean, I guess the only more recent one is Kendrick Lamar.
Sure.
Unfortunately deceased Pop Smoke.
Sure.
He's been around for a while, but he's just released something as of this recording. Eminem.
Sure.
His real name is Marshall.
His literal initials are M and M, right?
Yep. And I know they fit into, music, right? But how do they even equate to the poetic landscape?
Great question, and that's just because of the words that they rap. Whether they're freestyling, whether they're writing it down ahead of time, or whether a ghostwriter is writing it for them. Doesn't matter. It's still all words that they're performing. They usually do it with a specific cadence, a specific rhythm. Sometimes it might even rhyme.
9 times out of 10, I do hear a lot of rhyming and raps.
But sometimes it definitely just it's just the flow, it's just the meter that they're worried about, and not that it rhymes with the last word that they possibly said. It's definitely an interesting universe out there, and one of the people you mentioned, Eminem, is the first one that is on the discussion. Rappers are definitely modern day poets. If you look at the wise words of Tupac Shakur, he's definitely a poet too. I mean, he actually wrote poems too, instead of strictly just raps. Of course, some of them he did perform with a nice little backing track to it.
But unfortunately, although he's not with us, does, I guess, for lack of a comparison, it really strikes us. His words still live on.
His words definitely still do live on. But of course, someone who I believe he inspired was one of the modern legends today, Eminem, who you did say did something recently as of the recording of this, but as of the upload, it's probably 6 months ago, right?
Or 6 years ago.
Or 6 years ago, hopefully not, Jesus.
Yeah.
We upload this whenever we're freaking 40.
Yeah, maybe. But,
getting back into the actual content that's not going to be cut out, Marshall Mathers is definitely an impressive lyricist who definitely has double entendres and different references to everything pretty much out there, from different things such as just other people to maybe the community that he grew up in.
he's also had his highs, he's had his lows, he's definitely had controversy, he's also had his very, like I said, high points.
I mean, I will say the hip-hop universe is, the music industry is actually wrought with many different controversies and big opinions and
Yep.
stuff like that. But we're obviously just going to be talking about the poetic universe of the music industry, more specifically the rap universe, which there is something to be said. Yes, many different lyrics can be considered poetry. Yes, there is a universe where we did speak about the different musicians that exist throughout modern day stuff, but we are going to be mostly raps. Now, you also said Kendrick Lamar. It definitely is up there with a lot of the rap games. I mean, one of his albums, To Pimp a Butterfly, is definitely filled with a lot of poetry and a lot of impressive language. Just even on a language point of view. You don't have to, like the music, but written out.
Look at it from that perspective. Even if you're not into hip-hop / rap from the get-go, if you look at it from a poetry perspective, it does have some value.
Definitely has a lot of value. Another member of that universe is Drake.
Yep.
Now, Drake is definitely in the hip-hop universe too.
Yeah, he's definitely got some captivating moments in his work.
And as of recording, Kendrick Lamar and Drake definitely did have a little bit of beef. And you know what? We don't have to get into the specifics with that, because other people already did. But we are more focused on who he is in the hip-hop universe.
In my opinion, really good at singing, but I do like his rap too.
No, I mean, many different other people exist out there in the rap universe. We don't have to get into absolutely everybody, otherwise we would also have said Young Blood, Little Dicky. We would have also said, possible other people like Logic, or, I don't know, technically BB No Money too, was like a modern day guy.
And like I briefly mentioned before, Pop Smoke is unfortunately gone, but he did have some poetry.
I mean, the Sugar Hill Gang, they friggin' did that hip-hop song that, at the time, 22 people were like doing a different verse or whatever. It's a long one, but obviously we don't have time to do every single person who's ever rapped before, but we gave you a little snippet into just a little bit of the ones that definitely exist in modern day. Well, obviously we could be here all day talking about all of the endless rappers and musicians that might be out there, but now it's time for us to kind of go over the many different types, at least 12 of them, of poetry that we will be actually doing this episode.
Awesome. Let's get to it.
Let's get to it indeed.
Okay.
In fairness, this is quite a lot of things written down, so you know what? You're gonna have to deal with us reading off of our phones for this time. So, poetry comes in all various different forms and styles, each offering a unique way of expression. A Reddit list that I found of on r/poetry, the Reddit site for poetry, whatever, gave me the following list that Dom and I will now read.
Well, I'm eager to explore the diverse world of poetic genres.
Fantastic. Now let's get into it.
First one is a sonnet, a 14-line poem often dealing with themes of love or beauty.
Now, a haiku is a traditional Japanese poem with 3 lines in a distinct syllable pattern, 5 certain letters.
A free verse, a poem that does not follow a specific rhyme scheme or meter.
Next, a ballad, a narrative poem that tells a story.
A limerick, a humorous poem with 5 lines in a distinctive rhyme scheme.
An acrostic, a poem where the first letter of each line spells out a word or message.
An elegy, a mournful and reflective poem.
The epigram, a short, witty poem or verse that delivers a clever or satirical message.
A concrete poem, a poem that visually represents the subject it describes.
A pantoum, a form of poetry with repeating lines.
A palindrome poem, a poem that reads the same backward and forward.
forward and backward, same theory as that poem,
Right.
palindroma. And lastly, a blues poem. This is a poem that incorporates elements of blues music.
Well, these are just a glimpse of the types of poems. More of like a preview. There are plenty more to choose from. And it's like whole canvas.
Yeah, totally. There definitely are a lot of poems out there, and we'll be only covering 12 of them. In the description below, you will be able to find at least the rest of the ones that we were able to find, right?
Yep. The world of poetry seems pretty diverse. But I do have one question for you. Why did you choose these specific types of poems?
Well, the reason why is because they offer a really good place for beginners. I mean, there's also another reason. They're vastly recognizable. A lot of people have at least heard of what sonnet is, what a haiku is, what an acrostic is. But some people might not know where to start in the world of poetry. So, those kind of are a good starting point. Plus, there's also the addition. The two of us will be doing those 12 types that we mentioned. So at the end of the day, we will end up with 24 unique different poems, right?
Yeah, that wouldn't too much.
A doozy. It's gonna be a doozy. It's gonna take us probably weeks, right? Yeah. Now behind every poem lies a unique story. One that the author meticulously crafted in order to let everybody know a little glimpse of their life. Because at the end of the day, poets have every single possibility of picking out every single word that they want. It delivers a satisfying message to the reader and to other poets out there who might be reading it as well. They are also called readers because they're reading if somebody else wrote it. Love reader. Now the only exception to the rule of the author doing basically whatever they dang well please is whenever it happens to be an assignment that they might then give in school of writing. Now, they don't have the ability to choose necessarily what the theme is, what the style is, whatever it is. And although I get why it is there for an educational standpoint, I kind of disagree with the whole idea of I'm telling you what to write about sort of mindset. It's, again, I get it if you're trying to impart the wisdom of how it is to write certain things a certain way, but at the end of the day, poetry is all about freedom of expression in the way that you pretty much want to dictate it. So, I mean, with that being said, the two of us are going to kind of screw up for now, and we're going to write 12 and 12 poems, 24 total, and we will be back when we're back.
Yep, we'll see you soon.
Well, this shouldn't be goodbye, this is going to be hello again. So, I'll be writing an acrostic poem. And yeah, I did forget to write one for a haiku that I wrote a few days ago as of this video, but I already know what I'm gonna write about. This one's gonna be about my cat named Latte. Because hey, why not? For L, I would say loving very unconditionally. Okay. Well, what could I think of for A? Absolutely. I spelled that wrong. Absolutely vocal. Well, she likes to whine at us
well, because she's a cat, she can't speak actual English. T. Okay. T for something. Of course, maybe in the final video, this will all be cut out, the dead air stuff. Okay. T for... Totally... cuddly? Very cliche, but who cares? Another T. Jeez. Okay. Oh my god, this is gonna take a long time to think of. Tons of fun. Okay, E for excellent companion. Everyone should have a companion in your life like a pet. And if you're like me, you should have cats. And that, folks, is what an acrostic poem is in a nutshell.
Okay, so I am going to be taking you on the process of my palindrome poem. Palindrome, huh? Okay, well, due to the organization that I kind of want, I was doing all of these in order, right? You don't need to worry about the stuff that I already did. And I wanted to kind of do it so it's like, 1 through 12 are all right here, all in order. So it is the palindrome that I am taking you along for the ride. Now, I kind of have this set up where it's like one line is just spaced out in between the last of the last one and the first of, well, the title of this one. So this kind of leaves me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 if I really want to use the last one. And so I'm going to kind of limit myself to 4 or maybe 5. Yes, you don't technically need to do that, but I will. And you know what? I want this one to kind of be one of the shorter ones. So the way that I would kind of go about this is I would, on a side thing, it doesn't have to rhyme, but it does have to be, it does have to be the same backwards and forwards, pretty much. That is what a palindrome is. Same thing with the word mom, same thing with right? I don't know, race car too, right? But in essence, you gotta make sure it's same. The only different one is the one that's in the middle. And in some cases, well, we can move these two down and add another Z there. So it's like, 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1, right? So it might even be 6 lines. It could be even. That clock just went off, so I wanted to make sure that it kind of, went through, right? So that kind of gives me inspiration, though. I might do something based off of that, so I'll do a dream is a wish. your heart makes. A dream is a wish your heart makes. Again, I'm not trying to copy what they said, but you can get inspiration, and, you know, if it's just going to be this one and the last line, which I will add right here, I'll do ... just to, you know, save time. Dream is a wish your heart makes. It plays within my ears, maybe. So then you write it down here too. It plays within my ears. Letting me know the time has come. A dream is a wish your heart makes. It plays within my ears. Letting me know the time has come. It plays within my ears. A dream is a wish your heart makes. You know what? Those are gonna be it right there. 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. That is my process of how I did the palindrome poem with divine inspiration from that clock. So yeah, I'll just copy this whole thing over here and make it pretty. So I guess transition wipe. Transition. I don't know if that worked well, but I copied all of that all the way over here. And that's the journey of my palindrome poem.
And we're back, everybody. Did you miss us? I mean, we've only been gone for a week or so, which we've taken that time to collectively write 24 amazing, what do you want to call it? Amazing poems. 12 each, obviously. 12 and 12.
Yep. Just say during the process of writing the poems, I was alright with it.
Alright.
I mean, of course, I'm not like a big writer myself, but I was content writing these poems at my own time.
Are there any specific challenges that you went through, or
I guess
was it pretty much mostly easy sailing?
like some were easy sailing, and the others was like, okay, I gotta think of something good.
For Nix. Okay. It's pretty much the same sort of thing for me. I mean, specifically, there was one that I did have a bit of a harder time to get through, but we'll explore that, well, right now. So as the host, I will go first, and in order. So, first up on the block is the sonnet. Now give me your sonnet.
Oh my gosh, here we go.
This is fun.
I'm not, let's just say this isn't my strongest one, but I'll say it anyways.
Impressive.
This is a true.
It's a true one too. Okay. Next up, free verse. That you haven't heard before. Okay. The ballad. I won. I'm the winner. I got the listen first.
Oh, sweet home. Nothing else like it.
So you snap this shorter. Limerick.
I woke up. Got out of bed.
That's a funny one. I like my limerick too. Acrostic. The way that we're going to do this is we're going to just read the lines and then we're going to say what the word is afterwards. Alright. I like that a lot. Elegy.
This one's a bit of a silly one compared to yours.
We were talking about your dead grandma and how my family fell apart. Thank you very much.
Well,
Well, not. It didn't fall apart, but you know, it's like the bridge is kind of right.
okay, this one's, I don't know, first, but it's something that I used to have. Well, he was cool with that, yeah. Nothing's made to last.
Cheers to the NPR,
Yeah, for real.
Epigram.
That?
That's what an epigram is.
Alright.
Hungry. This one actually I kind of had to rework. The shape of an ice cream.
Yes. Okay, this one.
Next up is the Pantoum.
Okay. There we go.
Moving on to Palindrome.
This might require like a half a snap in this one.
Oh no.
This one's
Just go for it.
it's like a game.
Sure. Yeah. That's the first line.
That's it. That was it. That's why I said half a snap.
Read it back.
Step on the left. Heads. Step on the left.
So the V in level is the thing that's in the middle.
V.
The V is the...
Yep. It could be about a game. You can have the pets on that board.
I mean, that line is a palindrome. I'll do a full snap. That's full. Okay. Next up we have blues. I get it, You have to do it like a blues singer now.
This is...
A little bit of that soul in there.
Oh, this could be more like a...
You just smoked a 12-pack today.
Let's just say this is going to be a 6th grader's world problems. Here we go.
That's fair.
Alright.
Fuck yeah, that was good. You feel that soul in that, man.
I did put my soul in that. Alright.
That was the loudest you were ever in the show. Congratulations.
Alright.
You blew off my head.
Okay. Well.
So that concludes the reading of us doing our things right there. Now, I could definitely point out a few of those that I both enjoy the process, and I did kind of find some of these kind of stinkers. But, I did, even without the performance, I did enjoy the blues. The blues one, it had a good story to it. There was a story there, and I could hear a little bit of that sadness, if you want to call it that.
Sure.
Speaking of sadness, your elegy to the broken buzz, not that bad either. You were talking about it in that one recording that we did a long time ago at this point, and I really was curious about the direction we were going to go on this, and it was serious, but of course you did spin it in like it's serious, but it is serious, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I could definitely sense that there was a loss there.
Well,
now, of course, the palindrome was one of those where you felt was kind of on the weaker end. I kind of felt that too. It was one line, but that line was a palindrome, so technically it worked. Technically, for a one-liner, it was fine. For a one-liner, it was finer, right?
yeah.
We don't need to talk about the Pantoum.
That one sucked, but it was my attempt.
And, I mean, personally, I do like that you imparted yourself in on the, actually on both the acrostic and the concrete, that you had, something that you enjoy in both of them. It was your cat, it was a cat, right?
Wow. Not necessarily camp, but like music format on cassette. But it was still, it's like, those are the things I do enjoy.
It's a cat, and it's technology. What was the one that you actually were the most proud of?
I like the sonnet, and I didn't think the elegy was, elegy is something, yep, it was good. I was looking to write that one. As for you, put a lot of work into a lot of your stuff.
No, it's a fine. It's okay.
No,
It's like, it was it a big?
But yours, you still had some,
in your mind, some stinkers and some winners.
Pantoum I was struggling with, but The elegy, I knew what I wanted to write about.
You do it the day before too. That was nice. Personally, what'd you think of? I guess what was your favorite one that I did, and what was your least favorite one that I did?
Your blues poem.
Mine is the performance.
But honestly, I think your Pantoums was alright. Better than mine, but it was alright.
Okay. What was the one that didn't work for you? How did everything work for you?
Free verse, I was like, okay, that's cool, but
The free verse of, oh no, someone's at the door. It's actually no cookies.
I mean, it's like, to some reason, it's like, you wasted my time just for, but
It's a free verse.
But hey, I still give you credit though. It's still, but it was good, but it was like, But if that makes any sense, but I think, yeah, you still did pretty good on your stuff.
I think overall you did pretty nicely on your stuff as well, you know?
Yeah.
And that's at the end of the day exactly what the whole point of this is. I mean, we wrote things that we were proud of, and maybe all of you can write things that you are also proud of. Which, if you take a little inspiration from the two of us, maybe you could write 12 poems. Maybe if you write one, maybe you could outdo us and write all 24.
If you want to. But no pressure for that. But yeah.
Well, whether you're a seasoned pro or just a beginner, we actively encourage all of you to try your hand at poetry.
Keep writing, keep reading, keep sharing your poetic journey to everybody else in the world.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you once again for joining us on this amazing poetry journey. I've been your host again, Jake.
And I've been your host, Dom.
Have a great one, everyone.
See ya.
Poetry la vista, baby.
And so you've come to witness the beauty of prose, a world of whimsy from your head to your toes, where words may dance so eloquently and souls connect by soliloquy. Join Dom and Jake for their next quest as they unravel the mysteries of another hobby, trying their best. Until then, ta-ta, farewell. Subscribe then, go hit that bell. While you're there, be sure to prepare. We'd appreciate if you'd also hit share. How did you like that? The narrator is superior. My poetry kicks those two in their posterior. Be sure to tune in next time on Hobby Hangout. Farewell.